Okay, so this is going to be lesson 3. And lesson 3 is going to bring us to our last and final symbol. Now for this, depending on how your background is set up, you might want to open up your layers window. So again, you can select it here by the layer button, or you can go up to window and search for layers. Now this background scanned image should still be on layer 1 here. I'm going to unlock that for a second and then select our scanned image, object, rotate, and I'll rotate that 90 degrees. Oops. I'll rotate that by negative 90 degrees. Move that over. Now I'm going to relock the layer. So again, I opened up the layers window, and right next to the eye here in this blank checkbox, we're going to lock the layer. That way we can no longer change the position of this scanned image. So I'll zoom in a little bit, and I did that with the Command and plus key. So I'll select my, first let's lower our stroke. So I'll put the stroke back down to a 1. And then with the pen tool, and one thing to mention is just make sure that you select layer 2 after that, okay? So you should be working on layer 2. So once that's highlighted in blue, you'll know you're working on it. And now I should be able to start putting my lines. So I'll go about halfway up this first step. I'll click again and hold, and that should allow me to get a curve in. I'll click again, hold, and then adjust to get another curve. Now just like in lesson 2, if I try to click again right away, it's going to give me a rounded edge, but I want the point there, so I'm going to click on that anchor point. And now when I click back over and drag, I should still maintain that point. And the same thing applies here. If I want to keep this point that I have, I'll click. And we're just going to keep repeating this process. And it's okay if it's not exact, but the idea is to be pretty close to whatever your original image is. In this one here, I did leave, a nice rounded edge. Now, you'll notice that I have this white here. I can't really see through to my other line. So what we'll do is, if you go over here, you'll notice, you're going to want to make sure that your fill is on top of your stroke. So you'll notice I can alternate the position of these and alternate the colors but we want to only get rid of our fill. So make sure that's on top, and we're going to select this none option. Alright, and then we should be able to see the rest of our lines. And then we'll just continue through just like we had been. I'll do the last one over. Just make sure, again, when you're selecting the last point, you want it to close. So make sure that your pen tool is right over that point, and you'll know because the word anchor will appear, and you should get a small circle next to your pen tool icon. So we'll click, put our final curve in there, and hopefully that's pretty much the way we want it. Now, if you do want to do a little bit of tweaking, we can take our white arrow tool here and start just selecting these points individually, okay? And you'll see these small handles that appear off of them. So for instance, I'll choose this top point, and I'll take one of those handles that appear, I'll click on that and hold it, and I can do a little bit of tweaking. Alright. And it's up to you how much tweaking you want to do, if any at all. And let's just go ahead and add our fill to this. So by selecting it, let's put our fill back. So it's up to you what kind of fill color you want. Let's just do a red. Oops. And I'll hit OK. Alright, so let's hide our background. We might be able to see. So to hide our background, I'll pull up the layers window, and I'll take that eye off. So after those 3 lessons, this is what we should end up with. And feel free to do a little bit of tweaking if you want on lesson 2. You know, if some of those lines weren't perfectly round, we can go in and make those a little better if we want, using the method that we learned in lesson 3 here with the fire, and just kind of stretch out some of these points and hopefully make it just a little bit rounder. Okay, so go ahead and give these a try on your own, and the next step will be making some of your own icons, just using all these steps that we picked up from lessons 1 here, 2, and then 3.